Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Centennial High School, where the Cougars are playing host to the Blaine Bengals in tonight's swimming and diving meet here at Centennial High School. I'm Matt Johnson, joined by Gina Chapman and Susie Erickson tonight. Ladies, it's going to be a great match, the last of the season for the Cougars, who are celebrating their recent conference championship, their first in the Northwest Suburban Conference, and the coaches are pretty happy about it.
Absolutely. Their fans, the coaches, the team just couldn't be more thrilled about last week's conference victory. First defeat of Maple Grove in 9 years. So we're coming off that emotional high and just coming here to have fun tonight.
And the first conference championship in the Northwest Suburban Conference in their first season. Also the first conference championship of any kind for the Cougars since 2003. They are coached by Chip Fector, and the assistant coach is Pete Crawford. Diving coach is Beth Overn. The Blaine Bengals coming into this are coached by Mr. Copeland. Rory Copeland. The athletic director is Shannon Garrity for the Blaine Bengals, who are visiting tonight. It is senior night here at Centennial High School, and it's also parents' night. Let's listen in to Coach Chip Fector now, if we can. Well, he's done, right?
He keeps it short.
So, ladies, explain to us how this meet is going to work. We've got the sheets in front of us. We're going to start with the 200 medley relay for the JV girls, and then we'll kind of go back and forth between JV and varsity through the events. We're going to have after the 50 free, we're going to have a short break, and then we're going to do the diving. Just explain kind of for some of our viewers at home who may not be as familiar with how this works, just the process of tonight's meet.
All right, so we start with the JV medley relay, and our relays they score differently than the individual events. So the top place in the relay scores 8, second place is 4, and third place I believe is 2. Only the top 3 score, unlike the individual events where we score 1 through 5. So the relays, you really got to watch those first 3 places.
Here's a look at who is in the pool right now in lane 1. Young, Hassan, Heinrich, and Trailer for Centennial. Fahey, Leppy, Shostek, Wallens for Blaine. And you can see the rest there in lanes 1 through 6 as we get set for the 200-yard medley JV relay. So right now, Sydney Young in lane 1, as we mentioned, starting things off on the backstroke.
And in lane 2 for the Bengals, Megan Fahey. In lane 3 for Centennial, Erica Whiting. Lane 4 for the Bengals, Ronnie Slotsby. Lane 5, Emily Foote for Centennial. Lane 6, Sam Glubke for the Bengals. And as the backstrokers come into the wall, the breaststrokers will be up next.
And for Centennial in lane 1, that'll be Kiana Hassan. For Blaine in lane 2 is Eiley Leppy. For the Cougars in lane 3, Molly Vansel. Lane 4 for Blaine is Lindsay Anderson. Lane 5 for Centennial is Amanda Patchell, and Megan Birkenstock for Blaine in lane 6.
So the order in the medley relay is back, breast, fly, and free.
And right now, Centennial in lane 5, leading so far as we switch to the free, or the breaststroke rather.
The butterfly, man.
There we go. It's been a while since I swam in this pool as a Centennial student.
And Centennial lane 3 is taking a slight edge.
That is Delaney Warren in lane 3 for Centennial. And right neck and neck with her in lane 4 for Blaine is Marion Rodriguez as she touches the wall.
And first in the water for the Cougars, lane 3 is freshman Maggie Vansel. She's being chased by the Bengals in lane 4 with Charlotte Stenzel. And pushing for third is Centennial captain Nora Beckemeyer in lane 5. And 1, 2, 3 finish.
There it is. So good start for Centennial. as the last swimmer comes in and touches the wall. So again, as you look in lane 3, placing in first are the Cougars. And Delaney Warren leading that group. Second place in lane 4, the Bengals. Marion Rodriguez among that group. And then in third place in lane 5, we mentioned Centennial.
Right, and
with
that
their
was,
relay team.
That was Nora Beckemeyer finishing up for Centennial. And the varsity heat is up next. Each team has an A, B, and a C relay. Centennial's kind of split their relays up tonight, not their usual grouping. So we've got lane 1, backstroker Alexa Anderson for Centennial, and lane 2 for the Bengals, Abby Hare. Lane 3 for Centennial, Liz Hunt. Lane 4 for the Bengals, backstroker Aaron Sullivan. Lane 5 for Centennial, Solveig Stenslin. And rounding it out in lane 6 for the Bengals, we will see Dana Langley.
So again, as you mentioned, this will be the varsity relay. We just saw the JV relay. As the girls get set to go.
And the backstrokers jump in the water.
Right away in lane 4, Aaron Sullivan out to a good start for the Bengals.
And on the outside lane 1, Alexa Anderson just behind her for the Cougars.
So important to get a good push off to start. And quick to the wall for Blaine is Aaron Sullivan. Riley Slotsby will take over for her now.
And
Centennial right behind.
Centennial lane 1, Tara Chapman for the Cougars.
Chapman, just a freshman, good-looking stroke in lane 1. As you mentioned, she's gaining a bit of ground on the Bengals swimmer as we get to the 100-yard mark.
And Bengals touch first, but
barely.
Cougars are just behind. Flyer Shelby Carlson for Centennial in lane 1. And in the lead for the Bengals in lane 4 is flyer Jenna Dayton, senior. And Jenna is extending that lead for the Bengals.
She is. And so
coming up for the Cougars, Annie Udine in lane 3 cut some of that distance. And now she is followed by Mira Schroeder in lane 3 for the Cougars.
Taylor Conger now in lane 4 for Blaine. Looks to place first in this event if she can keep her momentum. If things go the Cougars' way here, they should come out with second and third in this event, though. In lanes 1 and 3 for the Cougars, Carly Rademacher and Mira Schroeder.
And
so pretty good
Mira
finish there.
Schroeder touching just ahead of Carly Rademacher for a second place in lane 4. And the Cougars lane 1 relay team placing third.
Certainly, as we take a look at a replay, you'll be able to see how close they get. That was...
Here we are in the finish.
Second and third were pretty close together there, and good look from our camera under the water. So we are getting set now for the JV 200-yard freestyle now. And Joining me now on the microphone is Susie Erickson. Susie, we'll let you take this one away.
Okay, now we've got the JV heat of the 200-yard freestyle. In lane 1, 3, and 5 are Centennial. 2, 4, and 6 is the Bengals. We've got Allie Davidson in lane 1, Emily Link in lane 2, Susie Gwynn in lane 3, Elizabeth Rono in lane 4, Anna Heinrich in lane 5, and Julie Murphy in lane 6.
And in lane 3, Centennial out to a slight early lead with Susie Gwynn.
It's a little bit of a distance swim here. A lot of pool.
Yeah, each length of the pool is 50 yards for those of you at home. So it'll be 4 laps of the pool. And the Cougars right now in pretty solid position in both first, second, and third place, Susie. They can hold on to this. They should be able to sweep.
Looking good right now.
The closest Bengal is in lane 4. And that is Elizabeth Rono for Blaine.
Right now, Susie Gwynn still hanging on to the lead. It looks like second and third are very close in lanes 1 and lane 5. Looks like it's going to be a race between the Centennial girls.
Well, hey, it's good to have some friendly competition, isn't it? It helps them get better times that way, too.
Exactly.
And the Cougars here on the final lap of the 200-yard freestyle. Lane 3, Susie Gwynn is going to come in with first place, and it looks like...
Oh, we've got one more lap left, I think.
I'm sorry. Anna Heinrich is close behind in second right now. My math is off again.
Yeah, it's tough to keep track of these laps. Some of the girls I know from Centennial are swimming some different events tonight, so it's kind of fun to see them have success where they don't normally swim.
You have to be multi-talented.
This will be Susie Gwynn's last home meet for her senior year, and she wins it.
Yeah. Gwynn touches the wall, lapping one of her Blaine competitors. In second place for the Cougars is Anna Heinrich in lane 5, and now touching the wall in third is Allie Davidson in lane 1 for the Cougars, sweeping first, second, and third place in the event. Couldn't ask for much better than that if you're a Cougar fan, Susie.
Exactly. Looks like lane 4, Elizabeth Rono is coming in for 4th.
Here's
you
a
can
look.
see the underwater touch.
Cougars sweeping, and the Bengals will finish up now. Nearly a minute behind the first place finisher.
Looking at the times, that looks like a pretty good time for Susie with a 2:28.10. Not sure, but it might be a personal best.
So, yeah, a 58-second differential there between first and last place. So the Cougars take 1, 2, 3.
And 6 is coming in with Julie Murphy.
The school record at Centennial for the 200 free is 1:54. Wow, that's tough to imagine, isn't it?
That's a fast swim.
Not taking anything away from the 2:28.10, but
that's been there a while too, since 2003. So, and now up we've got another senior in lane 3, Alyssa Udine. Again, swimming in her last high school dual meet.
So this is 200 free varsity. Solveig Stensland in lane 1. Lane 2 is Miranda Siegler for the Bengals. Alyssa Udine in lane 3. Selma Demrovach, lane 4. Molly Vansel, lane 5. And Gabriella Pierce-Mitchell, lane 6.
I would expect Alyssa to get out to a good lead. She sprints this entire event.
Got to have some endurance to go 200 at that speed. And you are absolutely right, Susie. She's out to a very strong start.
Looks like Molly Vansel's coming into the wall, second place right now. Sophomore on the team. I believe Alyssa competed in this at state last year.
So yes, in lane 3, Udine still well out to the lead. A couple of Bengals trailing, but Centennial looks to have second place. As you mentioned, Susie, with Vansel, and the Bengals hanging back, trying to hold on to third right now.
Solveig looks pretty strong over there in lane 1. Could be another Centennial sweep.
Cougars do have 1, 2, and 3 right now. And look at the smooth stroke of Alyssa Udine. Very impressive. She makes it look effortless out there, but we know it's not, right?
Correct. She trains for this all year, though. She is an incredible swimmer. Hoping to go to state again this year in that event. Looks like the Blaine swimmers are pretty evenly matched as they come into the wall 4th, 5th, and 6th pretty close.
And with 2 laps to go, Udine still well out in front.
Yeah, she's definitely got a commanding lead. There you go.
There it is.
2 minutes.
2-minute time, impressive. And then in 5th place, or excuse me, in lane 5, Vansel does finish second, and then Senslad in lane 1 finishes in 3rd. The Bengals will come in 4th, 5th, and 6th in their respective lanes.
And I did just hear that Alyssa, that is her personal best time for the season.
Wow.
So she's going into the championship meet season with a very strong swim.
Just 6 seconds off the school record pace. We'll welcome back in Gina Chapman now. Gina, thanks for being with us again, and you got to be pretty impressed with Udine's performance there.
Oh, absolutely. She's looking to come into a strong finish to her senior year. She's going on to swim in college. She's been swimming in this pool for a number of years, and this was her last home meet.
It showed right there with a great performance, just 6 seconds off the school record on the 200 free. Very impressive. We're now underway in the 200 individual medley for the junior varsity girls. In lane 1, Megan Valerius for Centennial, Erica Meager in lane 2 for Blaine, Maggie Vansel, who we just saw, the freshman in lane 3 for Centennial, Michaela Head in lane 4 for the Bengals, Nora Beckmeyer for the Centennial Cougars in lane 5, and Ronnie Slotsby in lane 6 for Blaine. So, Gina, how tough is it for Maggie Vansel to come right back, stay in the pool, I guess, and keep going?
Actually, that was her sister,
oh, that's right.
Molly Vansel, in the previous heat. Maggie does often do the 200 free, but today it was just her sister in that event. So Maggie being a freshman and her sister Molly a sophomore.
Very good, very good. Multi-talented bloodline, I guess, in the Vansel family, as well as in your family, right?
We've got a few pairs of sisters on this team. We've got the Vansel sisters, and Alyssa Udine, sister Anna is the sophomore, and my 2 daughters, Tara and Kayla Chapman, and Kayla swimming in her last home meet for Centennial tonight. Very exciting, very exciting. You must be proud as a parent to be here for it. So right now in lane 3, the Cougars have got the lead. Maggie Vansel, the freshman, here in the JV individual medley. On the breaststroke leg. The order of strokes is different in the individual medley than it is in the relay. So here in the individual medley, we started with the fly, then it goes to backstroke, breaststroke, and in both cases, freestyle brings it home. The Bengals very near first place right now in lane 6. Ronnie Slotsby's got, looks like second place right now in the water. And bringing up third is Centennial senior Nora Beckmeyer. In her 6th year on the team, I believe.
5. It's very close.
It's a fight for second, and Backemeyer takes it for Centennial, second place.
And very close, just about, I guess it was 4 seconds between her and her closest competitor for the Bengals. Cougars will also take third in the event.
And
Ronnie Slotsky for the Bengals, pretty close there at the end, but the Cougars pulled through.
Our heat winner looks pretty happy. There's Maggie Mansell. And
look at this under the water, how close it was.
oh, there's the finish for Maggie and Nora Backemeyer, and nearest is Ronnie Slotsky. The varsity heat's up next.
This is the 200 individual medley now. Same event, the varsity girls. Shelby Carlson is in lane 1. Abby Hare in lane 2 for the Bengals. Tara Chapman for the Cougars in lane 3. Dana Langley in lane 4. Tia Erickson in lane 5 for Centennial, and Haley Kidda in lane 6 for the Bengals. So Gina, a chance to see your daughter in the pool for her, one of your daughters in the pool for her last home meet.
Indeed, my younger daughter, Tara, has the lead right now in the butterfly, but coming up strong in lane 5 is Tia Erickson. That's Susie's daughter.
Well, there we go.
Oh, and they touched almost dead even there at the wall.
We picked the right two parents to be with us today, didn't we? We do appreciate the depth, if you will, of your swimming knowledge as #1 fans.
We've been at this a long time as parents. And the lead right now to Tara Chapman in lane 3, Tia Erickson in lane 5. And for the Cougars on the outside lane 1 is Shelby Carlson with a slight edge on 3rd.
So once again, the Cougars looking to take 1, 2, 3 in this event. There is a Bengal in lane 2, Abby Ayer, who is closing in on 3rd place for the time being. Still a bit of pool left, though.
That's what makes the medley so interesting, is the different swimmers have their strengths in the different strokes. So you'll see most often the places trade back and forth in the medley more so than in the other events. And Tara finishes off the breaststroke, moves into the freestyle here.
All right, so she'll go 2 laps in the freestyle to try to take home 1st place for the Cougars. It'll be interesting here on this first of the 2 freestyle laps to see if the Bengals can catch up in 3rd place. Right now, they've got it. But it looks like Tara is going to have no problem freestyling home for 1st place in front of Mom. And in lane 5, Tia Erickson is going to have no problem touching the wall for 2nd in front of Mom.
There she is. It's a fight for 3rd, though. Shelby Carlson tries to edge in there, and
that was close.
The touch goes to Blaine.
We'll have to see if we can see it on replay, but it looks like, indeed, Abby Ayer in lane 2 came in 3rd place for the Bengals according to the official scoring. So a very tight match.
Hi,
hey,
Tara.
look at the wave. Tara, a time of 2:18.22. Great time for the Cougar freshman. Take a look at that touch if we can one more time. See just how close it was here in slow-mo, perhaps. Yeah, the Bengals just barely out-touched the Cougars for 3rd. We get set now for the 50 freestyle JV, and back on the mic is the aforementioned Susie Erickson. Hello.
Hello, I'm back. This is an exhibition heat here, so none of the points count towards
okay.
JV or varsity. Just gives the girls a chance to swim.
And if I'm not mistaken, after the JV girls do the 50 free, we'll have I'm sorry, this is, they're still going to compete in the 50 free after this. Okay.
We're going to have two, it looks like we're going to have two exhibition heats.
Okay.
And then we'll have a JV heat. That heat 3 is JV, and then we'll have the varsity girls.
Okay, very good. So now the second exhibition heat. So the purpose of this really is just to get them some time in the water?
Absolutely. Both teams from Centennial and Blaine have pretty large teams, so they want to give all the girls an opportunity to get in the water and compete.
All right, so the second exhibition heat coming now. Meantime, momentarily. We can tell you that the Cougars lead the meet overall 19-11 right now. As we mentioned earlier, the scoring, individual scoring, first place is 6 points, second is 4 points, third is 3 points, fourth is 2 points, and fifth is a point. The relays are scored a bit differently, as you guys mentioned. First place is 8, second place is 4, and third place is 2 points. So the Cougars up 8 right now as we come on the home stretch in lane 3 of the second exhibition heat.
Sydney Young.
Two Bengals touching second and third.
Absolutely. Sydney's another one of our seniors here at Centennial. Now this is the JV heat up right now. These 50 frees go pretty fast.
They do, just 2 laps of the pool. So look at the replay here on that last exhibition heat, and no problem for, that was Sullivan?
Sydney Young.
Or Young, I'm sorry. All right, so now this is the JV where they will count it.
These points do count towards the meet total. We've got Natalie Traylor in lane 1 for Centennial, Emily Foote in lane 3 for Centennial, Jade Carlson in lane 5. And for Blaine, Alyssa Wollins is in lane 2, Laura Jensen in lane 4, and Mackenzie Harton in lane 6.
And right now the Cougars and Emily Foote lead in lane 3.
Natalie's coming up on her, it looks like. It's going to be a tight race for first and second here.
The Cougars will get first, second, and the Bengals will come in third, it looks like. Mackenzie Harton in lane 6 takes third, but Emily Foote just barely out-touched her teammate for first.
That was a great time for Emily.
28.49 in second place, 29.31 in lane 1 was Natalie Traylor. Look how close that was.
Now we've got the varsity heat up here, and we've got Sarah Groh, an 8th grader, swimming in lane 1 for Centennial. Kayla Chapman, who's on her senior year here for Centennial, in lane 3, and Anna Udine in lane 5. Looks like Lexi Takinen and Hunter Brook in lane 2 and 4, and I'm not sure who's in lane 6.
I believe it's Charlotte Stenzel for Charlotte Stenzel.
Okay, great, thank you.
So here we go, final lap already in the quick 50 free.
Look at how close this is with the 3 Centennial girls. Kayla, Anna, and Sarah. It looks like Anna's going to just out-touch Kayla.
She does, and then Sarah Groh takes third. So the Cougars sweep again. Anna Udine in first, Kayla Chapman in second, and Sarah Groh in third. The winning time in lane 5 was 26.22. So an excellent time there for Anna Heinrich and Anna Udine and the Cougars.
And now we'll take a little break before diving starts.
All right, so yes, we finished up most of the swimming events. We'll have diving coming up next. Right now, the Cougars out to a 31-15 lead in this dual meet here at home, their last of the season. Anna Udine coming up with a great time here on that last effort. Once again, 31-15, Centennial leading now here at North Metro TV. We'll have a brief break, and then diving is next.
Looks like
Known for its vineyards and hilltop villages, Umbria is also known for its delicious tasting pizza. Made traditionally from the finest ingredients, Umbria Pizzeria will make you taste the difference, smell the love, and transport you to Italy.
La cena è pronta.
Dinner's ready.
You might even begin to feel like an Italian.
Delicioso.
Umbria Pizzeria, turning taste into memories.
If you need seamless gutters, whether the job is large or small, you can say,
I know a guy!
for your full service landscaping, you can say,
I know a guy!
if you need commercial or residential lawn care, you can say,
I know a guy! I'm Charlie Walker, and if you need professional seamless gutters, landscaping, and lawn care, you can say, I know a guy!
In the nation, our agents are always there, helping make sure that when your life changes, your nationwide insurance coverage changes too. We put members first because we don't have shareholders. Join the nation where protection is personal.
Nationwide is on your side.
In Anoka County, contact Twin Cities Insurance Group, your nationwide insurance agent.
With gold at an all-time high, take that rope and say bye-bye. Earrings, bracelets, rings, and chains. We buy gold at your exchange. Don't send your gold to someone strange. We buy gold at your exchange. Spring Lake Park, Frilly, Blaine. We buy gold at your exchange.
Join Ben Hale every Friday on North Metro TV News.
Welcome back to Centennial High School. The Cougars and Bengals in tonight's swimming and diving meet. The Cougars have got a 31-15 lead right now in the meet, the last of the season for these teams. Right now we're getting set for the diving competition. Heat 1 for Centennial is an exhibition dive. It'll be Shay Erlinson, and then Caitlin Biernat will follow. She's the second diver for Blaine. Jessica Sherlock is the third diver for the Bengals. Those are both JV divers. And then the varsity divers, your fourth diver will be Leanne Waddy for Centennial, Alyssa Sandorn for the Bengals, Rachel Serrani for the Cougars, Katie Langley for the Bengals, and then Cassie Lehman for Centennial, and Nicole Whedon is your ninth and final diver for the Bengals. So we will see nine divers, and each of the varsity divers for sure, Gina, will do 6 dives, correct?
Correct, and the JV as well. The exhibition diver, which is Shay Erlinson tonight, will show us 4 dives, and here she is with her first one. And that's a nice dive for Shay. She's a 7th grader here at Centennial. Wow. Just starting her very first season of diving.
Excellent. So it's a relatively young team too, this Cougar team, and I think they're very deep. So now this will be Caitlin Biernat doing a forward somersault.
1.7 degree of difficulty.
And how high does the degree of difficulty go? Okay, I'm sorry.
Typically, they go to the low 2s,
okay,
is what we see here.
Very good. So the first Bengal diver you just saw, Caitlin Biernat again. She's a JV diver, and 16.15 is her score from the 3 judges.
There we see the replay. Nice dive.
Here's a look at it from underwater. Slight splash. Jessica Sherlock now, 8th grader for the Bengals, 3rd diver.
Very nice entry for Jessica.
So her score will be 22.5. 4, 4, 5, and a 4 from the 3 judges. That degree of difficulty was a 1.8, and that'll round up the JV divers. We'll head on to varsity now.
Leanne Waddy for Centennial. She's a senior, but this is her first year in the dive group. She's been a swimmer in the past.
And we'll await the score on this one, and her teammates will cheer her on. A 15.30, the score on that one.
And next up, Elisa Sandhorn for the Bengals. Elisa is a sophomore.
Another 1.8 degree difficulty dive here. Looks like were her feet supposed to go in a little straighter on that one? It looks like they kind of came to the side a little bit.
Right. Ideally, you'd be looking for the vertical entry in all the dives.
The score of 17.10 on that one, though.
And next up, senior Rachel Sireney for the Cougars.
Sireney, the 6th diver.
And nice dive for Rachel.
Her score a 21.25.
Scoring a 4.0, 4.5, and 4.0 from the 3 judges.
The score based on and partially the degree of difficulty, and most of those were about 1.7, 1.8.
The Bengals are showing their 3rd 8th grade diver. And that was Katie Langley. Very young dive team for the Bengals.
Looks like a very good dive, too. In my non-expert opinion, it looked like a good entry there as you take one more look. We'll see what the judges have to say.
And the score reflected that in a 21?
21.22, so right up there with the previous diver for Centennial.
Cassie Lehman for Centennial.
Slightly more difficult dive, and she executed it very well.
A twisting dive for Cassie. She's in her 3rd year of diving with the Cougars, and she is a sophomore.
A 26.10. She got a 4.5, a 5, and a 5 from the judges. Excellent score.
And that's our highest score so far this evening.
It is. Cassie Lehman. And now our final diver in this first round, Nicole Whedon for the Bengals. A junior. Looks like a pretty good entry there too, didn't it? So far 26.22, the score to beat, and she comes out with a 30.6. 6s straight up the board. And the 1.7 degree of difficulty resulting in the highest score yet. So Nicole Whedon for the Bengals, the junior, on the first of her dives tonight, coming through pretty big.
And taking the early lead. And now we've got Shay Erlinson from Centennial, her 2nd dive. And she does a back dive. Oh, we've got Shay swimming to the side. 2.5, 2.5, and 3.0 for a 13.6.
Not bad for the young 7th grader. Our exhibition diver tonight, getting a good look at it there. Slightly more difficult dive now for Caitlin Bieran at a 1.9. And And Gina looks like a pretty good dive. Looks like her feet came apart a little bit before she entered, though. Let's see if we can see it here. Watch her feet come apart just slightly as she entered the water.
She didn't quite get her twist all the way around. Overall, a successful dive, though.
22.5 in that last dive, I believe.
And Jessica Sherlock does her second dive for the Bengals.
And a 16.0. That previous score I mentioned was the total score so far. My apologies.
Leanne Waddy up next.
A slightly less difficult dive than her first one.
That was a 1.6 degree of difficulty for Leanne, and she scores a 4.5, a 3.5, and a 3.5 for a total of 18.4.
An improvement by a couple of points over her last dive. Now, the Bengals will come up. And it's Alyssa Sandorn again. Had a 17.1 her last dive. The Bengals loving that one. We'll see if the judges do too. 3.5s for a 17.85. Again, just slightly better than her first dive too. So improving.
And we see Rachel Sireney for the Cougars in her second dive. Oh, really nice dive for Rachel. She had some very nice height, really clean entry, beautiful body position there.
Absolutely. Look at this. Just a very slight splash as she entered the water. Wow. Very nice vertical.
And you see that bounce she took? That's what allowed her to get that height and to really stretch out on that entry. So if you watch the bounce, she's really using the board there.
24 on that last one for Rachel.
And Katie Langley is up.
Dive 103C, forward 1.5, somersault up, degree of difficulty 1.6.
You hear the public address announcer telling you the type of dive for each of these. Listen closely for those.
Very nice
good
dive.
entry.
Very nice from our 8th grade varsity diver from the Bengals.
Yeah, Katie Langley here entering the water.
And she scores a 4.5, 5.0, and 5.0 for that.
A 23.2.
Cassie Lehman on the board. Beautiful dive from Cassie.
Excellent score, too. A 24.65 on that one.
And I should mention Cassie diving with a swim cap on. That's not conventional, but she had a punctured eardrum from a diving incident, actually.
Wow. Does it inhibit you at all?
She's protecting it from water.
Right, but does it inhibit you on the dive at all? Does it make it more difficult?
It doesn't, but she had to sit out about a week and a half earlier this season. So we were glad to have her back.
Good to see her back,
yeah.
Yes, indeed.
And that dive from Nicole Whedon, 4.5, 4.5, and 5.0 for a big score on that, 32.20. And Nicole is holding on to her lead here with Cassie Lehman of Centennial in second place and Rachel Sireney in third. Shea Erlinson in her third dive. And you see Shea really using the board there, getting some spring off of that.
A 9.0, the score on that one. The degree of difficulty, a 1.2.
Forward dive top. Degree of difficulty 1.2.
Caitlin Biernat in her third dive.
$17.40 on that one as you see her enter. And these dives slightly easier than the ones that they had done before.
Nice height on that for Caitlin. Jessica Sherlock up next. Showing a very pretty dive. Here we are on the replay.
22.10 the score on that one.
Dive 302. Reverse somersault height. Degree of difficulty 1.7.
Leanne Waddy doing a reverse somersault pike. On the reverses, Matt, they go in towards the board so that there's usually, some fear that they have to overcome when they're learning those reverses.
Yeah, that one did not look easy at all. Let's see if we can watch it one more time. This is what you're talking about right here. Don't hit the board. And you're nice entry and good score. A 17.0 on that one.
And that was the dive from Elisa Sandhorn of the Bengals.
And we may see it again on the replay, but it looks like probably not how she wanted this one executed. Look at she enters kind of head first into the water.
A little out of control. But it was a successful dive if you execute all the elements.
Indeed, she got a score of a 10.40.
And Rachel Sireney on the board. Rachel gets a lot of height again.
Yeah, where she landed in the water was a bit further on the near side of the dive pool than some of the previous dives.
Right,
so she got out there a ways, didn't she?
And you want to go for the height. Ideally, you're landing closer to the board. You get scored in part. You want to go out straight ahead and land closer to the board, but she got nice scores, 5s on that. Very nice dive from Katie Langley of the Bengals.
Yeah, and Langley has been one of the better Bengal divers tonight, and a 28.05 there.
Oh, she scored a 6.0 on that. And a 5.5 and a 5.0. Very nice scores.
Forward double somersault top. Degree of difficulty 2.2.
Langley at this point leads all divers with that last one.
So she went ahead of Rachel Sireney and Cassie. Ooh, a little bit of a smack on her entry.
And this was Cassie's dive right here that she needed to stay up there in the lead. 25.30 though.
That one had a high degree of difficulty at a 2.2. And Cassie's been the top diver for Centennial throughout this whole season.
I think she did do a great job of trying to get her legs back in time.
Right.
But still managed a 25.30, and she'll stay in the lead with that dive.
Nicole Whedon as the final diver of round 3. She's been in the lead. We'll see if she hangs on. And I think she does. She pulled out a 6.0, 6.0, 5.5 score, and that was a 2.2 degree of difficulty.
Huge dive for Nicole Whedon.
Wow.
Unbelievable. That'll give her the lead.
She's gone up over
30.
100.
That gives her a big lead for the Bengals, and overall in the meet they trail, so they need a first place on this.
Nice dive from Shea. She does her last dive of the night. She finished out strong.
Yeah, her best score of the night, if I'm not mistaken, with a 15.2.
Well, she finished very strong.
Just her first dive was a 15.3. Thank you, Susie, for the stat correction. Overall, 53 so far for Shea. Impressive work for the young lady.
And that was Caitlin Biernet's fourth dive.
She'll manage an 18.9 with a 5.0, a 4.0, and a 4.5.
There's the replay. See the side view? She got a nice height on that.
This will be a reverse dive tuck now for Jessica Sherlock. Looks like Gina, her legs came back just a little bit. She didn't go in completely vertically, but a tough dive, and I think she did execute it very well.
Absolutely. And 5.5 scores show that.
A total 26.4 there.
Bringing Jessica's score to an 87 as Leanne Waddy takes the board.
.80 for Waddy on that one. Let's see. Pretty good entry. The legs went in a little bit horizontal at the end, but still managed a 16.8. She's at 67.5 through 4 dives, with 2 more to go for each girl after this round.
Back dive for Elisa Sandhorn of the Bengals.
And Sandhorn, who had a 10.4, a 17.85, and a 17.10, will get another 17.85 here.
Consistent in her dives tonight.
Watch one more time. She went in a little bit flat there in the back, but still managing a pretty good score.
Rachel Sierney, I think she's currently in 4th. Nice dive. She could take back over in 3rd place, perhaps on that one.
Oh, yeah, that was a great dive. She's going to manage a 27.2 as they do the wave here in the home stands right next to us.
The crowd really likes this one.
Well, look at here. She executes perfectly. Great entry for a good score, and it puts her just out of first place.
Very pretty dive, and her team looks happy with that.
Just a couple points out of first with a couple divers left to go in this round.
Katie Langley. Another nice dive for the 8th grader. Some big scores here tonight. That was a 26. And that brings Katie's score to a 98.9 after round 4.
Cassie Lehman and then Nicole Whedon will both dive, and we should be able to tell you where everybody's at.
Cassie didn't quite get that around as far as she would like. She didn't quite get to the vertical on that.
27.60 according to the judges. It does put her at 103.65 though through 4.
And I think that one didn't come out quite how she usually does it.
And the star so far tonight for the Bengals, Nicole Whedon, steps to the board. Another excellent dive.
Yeah, very pretty.
She had a 101.3 before this. She'll add 32.25 to it for a total of 133.55.
She was awarded an 8.0 on that dive. That is, in high school diving, that is a very high score. They don't give any 10s.
Unbelievable. 8, a 7, and a 6.5. Some of the highest individual scores from judges we've seen all night. And the Bengals hold right now in first place at 133.5. The Cougars in second place with Cassie.
Starting round 5 here on the board. Back dive from Caitlin Buhner.
Dive 302C, reverse somersault tuck, degree of difficulty 1.6.
Jessica Sherlock doing a reverse tuck. As the second JV diver for the Bengals.
She'll get a 20.80, a 4.5, a 4, and a 4.5 from the 3 judges. She sits at 107.8 now.
And the start of our varsity group with Leanne Waddy. A 2.5, a 3, and a 3 for a total of 13.6 for Leanne.
Saw her enter the water there a little bit apart, I guess. Bengals will come up now.
Some nice height on that dive from Elisa Sanhorn of the Bengals.
You'll see that right here. She got a nice spring in her step and pretty good entry as well. A 19.2.
A little bit over rotated from the vertical there, but nice dive.
Rachel Serrani coming back up for the Cougars, who's been good all night.
Very nice dive for Rachel, and then the crowd does the wave again.
I'm just waiting for you guys to jump up and do it.
I lose my headset, man.
You would. Let's keep it intact. We might need it for future fall events here on North Metro TV.
And getting a hug from her teammates. She's having a good night tonight.
Those smiles tell the story, don't they?
As she should in her final home dual meet as a Cougar here for Rachel. Katie Langley.
22.4 is the score from the judges. Puts her total at 121.3. And she, at the moment, holds on to second place, although Nicole Whedon for Blaine could not dive and still be right there with them.
She might have a lock on first at this point.
I would imagine so.
We'll see if Cassie can take over second again here.
Whedon does seem about a dive ahead of everybody else.
High level of difficulty for Cassie. That was a 2.1 degree of difficulty. pretty good scores. She brings a 5.0, a 4.5, a 4.5 for a 29.40. And she increases her score to a 133.05. As you said, Matt, still half a point behind Nicole Whedon of Blaine.
Who is stepping to the board now?
Ooh, and she stays very close to the board on that inward.
Yeah, she does. Scared me a little bit watching it. Let's see what happens one more time. In fact, I almost thought she hit it. You see on the replay that she didn't, but look how close.
We got a better angle here.
Wow, excellent entry too, and she'll get a 44.00 out of that, a 2.2 degree of difficulty.
Huge score, huge.
Wow. Well, the Bengals, with one more round of dives to go, have most likely locked up first place here, which, if I'm not mistaken, would give them 6 points for the meet. They are down 16 now to the Cougars overall in the competition.
And an inward dive from Caitlin Biernat.
$16.10 there.
And there it is. Nice dive.
Kind of bent her knees and then got vertical after that.
And the final round of dives, Jessica Sherlock's 6th and final dive. And she scores a 15 on that. There we see it again. Didn't quite get extended to the vertical on that entry.
So now Waddy will do a forward somersault pike, I believe, is the dive. Pretty good entry there.
As Leanne has completed her 6th and final dive.
Should have been a 19.50 from the judges.
We see it again from another angle.
The senior enjoying her last dip into the pool at home for competition, at least in high school.
Right, right. They've got sections yet. That's a couple weeks away. And Elisa Sandhorn, sophomore for the Bengals in her 6th dive, getting 4s and 5s. Nice entry. Rachel Sierney, let's see if she can improve upon her score. Maybe take home 2nd place. A nice dive for Rachel. That's only a 1.4 degree of difficulty on this dive.
21.70 the score.
And the judges give her 5s.
Gina, you mentioned sections. I believe they'll take place at Stillwater, if I'm not mistaken, in about a week and a half. So looking forward to that. Centennial is the conference champions. In section, we'll go to section. We're 4-2A, correct?
Correct.
So I'll be looking forward to seeing how they compete there.
Although I think it's in 2.5 weeks.
Okay. Langley, another good-looking dive there. She's been one of the better Bengal divers tonight.
Very promising young diver for the Bengals.
Absolutely. Look how she goes into the water here. Very close to the board, as you mentioned, Gina.
Excellent dive. She finishes very strong.
Wow. Good look at it there from the cameras.
And Cassie Lehman. Oh, there's Katie. And then we move to Cassie's last dive. Oh, Cassie's having trouble on her finishes tonight. That's not what we usually see from her.
The crowd will do the wave nonetheless.
Even so.
Hey, have
supporting her in the last dive, and she's had a very strong season. She's a little bit off tonight.
A 25-30 she gets, and she'll finish up with a 158.
That's not typical
35.
for the entries we see from Cassie.
So with that, our final diver will come up for the Bengals, who, if she didn't dive, would still have first place.
She can only add to her score, and that certainly did add to the score. And another winner for Nicole.
Well, the Bengals will take a much-needed first place. A 37 on that dive. A 7.0, one of the judges' scores. She finishes with 214.55 to finish in first. Cassie Lehman for the Cougars, despite the difficulties you mentioned she had tonight, will finish in second place for the Cougars. And in third place for Centennial is Rachel Serrani with 153.85. And so Blaine will get 6 points for finishing first. That'll put him at 21 for the meet. Centennial finishing in second and third.
And that gives a 4 and a 3.
We'll get him 7 more points. So it should be 38-21. Centennial still leading overall in the meet with a few events to go. And we'll have them for you after a quick break here on North Metro TV.
I was like,
Known for its vineyards and hilltop villages, Umbria is also known for its delicious tasting pizza. Made traditionally from the finest ingredients, Umbria Pizzeria will make you taste the difference, smell the love, and transport you to Italy.
La cena è pronta.
Dinner's ready.
You might even begin to feel like an Italian.
Delicioso.
Umbria Pizzeria, turning taste into memories.
If you need seamless gutters, whether the job is large or small, you can say,
I know a guy!
For your full-service landscaping, you can say,
I know a guy!
if you need commercial or residential lawn care, you can say,
I know a guy! I'm Charlie Walker, and if you need professional seamless gutters, landscaping, and lawn care, you can say, I know a guy!
In the nation, our agents are always there, helping make sure that when your life changes, your nationwide insurance coverage changes too. We put members first because we don't have shareholders. Join the nation where protection is personal.
Nationwide is on your side.
In Anoka County, contact Twin Cities Insurance Group, your nationwide insurance agent.
Lionel Lakes is the gateway to the metro area, just minutes north of Minneapolis and St. Paul. Conveniently located on I-35W, this growing city still maintains its North Country feel. Lionel Lakes values its award-winning schools. Outdoor lovers will discover miles of hiking, biking, and water trails. Growing businesses will find premier development opportunities with great freeway visibility and ready to help your businesses grow. Come to live, work, and play in Lionel Lakes.
Have you or someone you know been diagnosed with an SD deficiency? Do you feel that you're missing out on the fun of high school sports coverage? Then take a weekly dose of Sports Den on North Metro 15. You'll be updated with highlights and analysis of your local schools, Blaine, Centennial, and Spring Lake Park. Warning, taking Sports Den may increase levels of adrenaline, resulting in cheering, applause, and high fives. Milder side effects may include a desire to see yourself on Sports Den, and in rare circumstances, answering trivia questions and winning t-shirts.
Sports Den work for me. Ask your coaches if it can work for you.
Come to Ham.
Welcome back on North Metro TV, along with Gina Chapman and Susie Erickson. I'm Matt Johnson, and we are back underway after a brief break. We are on the girls 100-yard butterfly now for the JV girls. In lane 1 is Sarah Spalding for Centennial. Hope Shostak for the Bengals in lane 2. In lane 3 is Carly Rademacher for Centennial. And Marion Rodriguez for the Bengals in lane 4. Anna Heinrich lane 5 for the Cougars. And Michaela Strand in lane 6 for Blaine. Swimming right now in the 100-yard fly for JV.
This is a tough event for some of these younger girls. We've got a 7th grader in lane 1 who is struggling, but she's going to make it. Looks like Carly Rademacher is leading the pack in lane 3.
And yes, she continues to lead for Centennial, the freshman. Actually, lane 6.
Oh,
Michaela Strand for Blaine crept up on us, and she placed in first, so the Cougars will get second. And looks like the Bengals will try to capture third here as well, with Marion Rodriguez touching the wall, the sophomore for the Bengals.
A 105.02 is a pretty darn good time for JV. That may beat some of the varsity times that we see here coming up next.
105.02. A very good time. It's enough for first place, and the Bengals needed that as they trail overall here in the meet this evening. Right now it's 51-27. Centennial, a first place finish there for the Bengals, gets them 6 more points.
For the JV, correct.
So yes, now we're set for varsity. Delaney Warren in lane 1. Dana Langley in lane 2 for the Bengals. Tia Erickson for Centennial lane 3. Aaliyah Mori in lane 4 for Blaine. Alyssa Udine in lane 5 for Centennial. Haley Kidda in lane 6 for the Bengals.
And it looks like Alyssa Udine is out to an early lead with in lane 5 and lane 3 Tia Erickson a close second.
On the second of 4 laps that they'll take right now. And lane 5, Udine continues to hold on to the lead, but yes, Tia Erickson, your daughter, right behind her in second.
We actually have a pretty strong butterfly team this year. We've got probably 4 or 5 girls that could compete at this in this event at varsity.
And it looks like the Cougars may be able to sweep this heat as well. And it looks like Udine in lane 5 is going to most likely get first. She might beat a minute here if she's fast enough. Just over a minute.
Wow, great time for her.
Second place for Erickson. There you go, Susie, proud mom. And in lane 1, Delaney Warren will take third. So the Cougars sweep first, second, and third place in the individual fly, 100 meters.
You can see that JV time from earlier of 105 would have been a third place finish here in the varsity heat.
Yeah, very good one indeed.
Coming up next, we're going to have 2 exhibition heats of the 100 free. Before we go to JV and varsity, I'm going to hand it off to Gina.
Gina Chapman joining us once again, and Gina, the 100-yard freestyle, will have an exhibition heat first.
We've got 2 exhibition heats, the first of 2 exhibition heats in the 100 freestyle. And we've got showing 7th, 8th, and 9th graders in this heat. Lane 1 for Centennial, rookie 7th grader Mandy Granquist. In lane 2 for the Bengals, Alyssa Anderson. Lane 3 for Centennial, rookie freshman Angela Maddow. In lane 4 for the Bengals, Jordan Anderson, 7th grader. In lane 5 for Centennial, rookie 8th grader Eddie Erickson. And in lane 6 for the Bengals, Tallulah Clamon, 7th grader.
And in lane 2 right now, Alyssa Anderson has got the lead. as she goes into the final lap.
And we've got a dead heat for second place right now, with lanes 4 and 5. Then Centennial lane 5 is pulling ahead in the final lap.
Eddie Erickson is going to take second. Alyssa Anderson for the Bengals takes first in the heat. The Bengals will also touch the wall in lane 4 with third place, Jordan Anderson. So Alyssa and Jordan Anderson first and third for the Bengals. The Cougars getting second place in that event in the exhibition heat.
There's our heat winner. Heat 2 of exhibition. That was showing lane 1, Callie Rickard for Centennial. We've got Bengals in lane 2 with Jasmine Francis. Lane 3 is 8th grader from Centennial, Rachel Steinberg. And as the swimmers take their marks. Rounding out in lane 4 for the Bengals, Carmen Anushko, sophomore. In lane 5, Kiana Hassan for Centennial, rookie junior. And in lane 6, Claire Lee for the Bengals, an 8th grader, as they come off the wall from their first turn.
And the Cougars, it's a close heat so far. Hassan in 5 and Lee in 6 for the Bengals. Very close here. And it looks like the Cougars will.
And they turn together.
Barely touch first, maybe.
7/100ths edge to lane 6 for the Bengals on that first 50 of the 100 freestyle. Again, lanes 5 and 6, pretty tight. Coming back in the home stretch, which will it be?
Claire Lee, the 8th grader, is just slightly behind Hassan, it looks like.
I think they're dead even in here in lane 3. Rachel Steinberg is fighting to get in there.
Very
she takes
close.
Third.
And it will be Claire Lee for the Bengals touching the wall first by just 7/100ths of a second. Wow, very close heat.
I think that's the same difference they had after the first 50, so they swam the second 50 in identical times.
And the difference between first and even third was less than a half a second.
Nice race, and there we see the finish.
Wow. So now we'll go to the third and final JV heat. This one will count in the 100-yard freestyle. Julianne Sepola.
Right.
In lane 1, Hunter Brook in lane 2 for the Bengals, Sarah Lehman in lane 3 for Centennial, Alyssa Parsons in lane 4 for Blaine, Ellie Keene in lane 5 for the Cougars, and Julia Cummings for the Bengals in lane 6.
And the referee has asked the swimmers to step down as they take a minute at the timing booth. And the swimmers have another minute to think about their race.
I don't know if that's usually a good thing or a bad thing, is it?
It can go either way. The pressure mounts.
Indeed it does. And hey, there's a look at you, fine ladies. Gina Chapman, Susie Erickson, along with Matt Johnson. Happy to be bringing you the action here on North Metro TV tonight. And we are now set for the third and final heat. 100 free for JV girls. So we already shared with you the lane assignments, and this is a quick race with just 4 laps of the pool. And
it looks to be a good race already.
Well, if the exhibition heats were any inkling, this will be close as well. Through 100, it looks like the Bengals in lane 4, Alyssa Parsons just slightly ahead of
3 Cougars.
Of a couple of Cougars. Sepola, one of them in lane 1.
And Sepola's maybe pulling ahead on the outside lane.
The 8th grader does touch the wall first.
She's coming back strong. Also challenging in lane 3, Sarah Lehman for the Cougars.
And now Ellie Keene for Blaine
Coming in.
is going to be close, and I think she's going to take
Blaine
it.
got the touch. Blaine got the touch on that in lane 4. First place went to Alyssa Parsons, 8th grader from the Bengals.
Under a minute.
Ooh, that's a nice JV time.
59.47.
We don't often see under a minute in the JV heat. I must tell you, it's the last meet of the year, and all these swimmers are getting stronger.
Wow.
That was a very strong JV 100, up and down. In second place, also under a minute, Julianne Sepala with a 59.64. And in third place, Sarah Lehman takes it with a 1 minute .24. We've got the varsity heat up.
So they'll just do one heat. This is it. Mira Schroeder in lane 1 for Centennial. Lane 3, Anna Udine and Kayla Chapman in lane 5 for Centennial. In lanes 2, 4, and 6 for Blaine are Lexi Takinen, Julia Roberstadt, and Jen Wilson. And
the Cougars are out in front.
They are. Lanes 1, 3, and 5. All 3 Cougars leading right now.
Looks like Anna Udine has a slight edge in lane 3. They're swimming in unison there. In formation, I should say.
I'm sure they'd be happy to sweep yet another event tonight, and it looks like they will.
And Anna hanging on by an edge, but the others two staying strong. Oh, who got that one? Mira Schroeder made a final push.
But
almost took over.
Udine did get it, though. Udine, by 8/100ths of a second over her teammate Mira Schroeder, and then in third place, Chapman.
There she is, and that is Anna Udine's second win of the night. She also took the 50 free. So good night for the sophomore.
So the Cougars continue to dominate as we get set for the 500 free for the junior varsity girls. And if I'm not mistaken, that is 20 laps of the pool. So buckle up. We will.
This is the distance race of high school swimming.
Start counting. Kristen Ferreira in lane 1, Susie Gwynn in lane 3, Megan Valerius in lane 5 for Centennial.
It looks like Blaine is not putting up any JV 500 freestylers tonight.
They're not. The 3 Cougars, Ferreira is a junior, Gwynn a senior, and Valerius an 8th grader. So the distance event.
This one is not for the faint of heart.
Certainly they're not going to go as fast from the start as Susie Erickson rejoins us on the microphone. Susie, for this type of event, the girls really have to obviously stay focused and keep endurance throughout. What's the best way to do that?
They have to learn how to pace themselves. How fast can they do each 50 is kind of what they try to do, focus on. You don't want to start out too fast and then tucker out at the end.
5 minutes is a very good time. The school record just over 5 minutes flat, so that's kind of what you can expect.
It's a long event for high school swimming.
And you'll see the girls will hold up the signs to let the girls know in the water where they're at.
It's tough when they're not swimming against another team. Sometimes they pace themselves based on who's next to them in the lane. So they got to look a couple lanes over to see how they're doing compared to their competition.
Yeah, great observation. A lane between each swimmer, and certainly when you're not in fierce competition, you may tend to swim a little slower too.
Absolutely.
So we're about a quarter of the way there now, as all 3 swimmers will finish their 5th of the 20 laps. And Ferreira Gwynn looks to lead right now, and you'll see her towards the center of your screen in lane 3.
Some girls absolutely love these distance swims, and some are trained more for sprinting and feel like this is a punishment.
Yeah. We mentioned the Cougars winning their first Northwest Suburban Conference title last week against the Crimson of Maple Grove. And Susie, a very big win that was. It's the first time Maple Grove has lost in 9 years.
That's crazy.
And the Cougars in their first season in the Northwest Suburban showing their dominance, and they hope to take that on to section play and then eventually the state tournament in a couple of weeks. That would be at the University of Minnesota. Take a look quickly at the results from diving from just a few minutes ago. We mentioned Nicole Whedon's domination. 214.55 was the first place score. 2 Cougars, Cassie Lehman and Rachel Serrani, behind her at 158.35 and 153.85. So Nicole Whedon, what can you say about her performance? She was impressive.
She was unbelievable. She did a nice job. Yeah, very impressive.
With that first place, giving the Bengals some much needed points. They still trail overall in the meet now. Score update is 77-33. Centennial leading.
Be a tough comeback for Blaine at this point.
It would. Again, individual events, first place gets you 6 points in individual events. And after the 500 freestyle here in JV, we'll have the same event for varsity. And we've still got the 200 free relay and the 100 backstroke to go, along with the 400 freestyle relay.
And the 100 backstroke is in there as well.
So lots of events to go.
About halfway through this race right now, and looks like Susie Gwynn and Megan Valerius are neck and neck coming into the wall, and they're halfway through.
Yeah, indeed, Valerius has come back. Through the first 5, Gwynn had the lead.
We've got a 8th grader and a senior out there competing for first and second.
7 laps to go.
Are they looking tired to you?
A little bit. Considering the fact that the school record is 5 minutes flat, and they're on the next 25, they're going to be there.
Right, they're going to probably...
With 6 laps to go. They're taking their sweet time, I would say.
I think they're going to probably be in the 6-minute range here. Sometimes the coach likes to mix it up here on the JV 500 and have all the girls try it at least once.
Well, and Susie, you and Gina both were mentioning a little bit earlier as Centennial swim and dive parents that, at this point in the season, when Centennial's already wrapped up the conference title, they're preparing for sections at Stillwater in a couple of weeks. You don't want to wear out the girls unnecessarily when you've accomplished most of what you could have possibly wanted to accomplish this season thus far.
Right. They're kind of just starting some pretty tough practices right now. I know the girls are tired tonight coming in. He's got them swimming some different events from their normal events, just to kind of mix it up. And like you said, give their muscles a little bit of a break. They start taper soon, which is where they start to diminish their workout a little bit, really focusing on nutrition and taking care of their bodies and resting, so that when they go to that section meet, they're at their, prime
shape.
Endurance. Yes, prime shape, exactly. That bell signals the last lap for Susie Gwynn. It's going to be a race between her and Megan.
Yeah, Megan Valerius in lane 5 and Gwynn in lane 3. So the final 25 right now, and Gwynn has got the lead.
She's coming in strong.
Valerius will be behind, and then in lane 1, Ferreira is about a lap or so behind.
Right.
So Gwynn will get the first place victory. Valerius comes in second, and Ferreira will certainly get third here momentarily. The first place time, 6 minutes 30.72 seconds.
It looks like that's Susie Gwynn's second win of the night for JV, and that's a great way to finish her senior year at home here. And here comes Kristen.
She will finish about 37 seconds behind first place, and the Cougars sweep yet another event. Couldn't help it in this one, but they're still happy about it. Where's the wave? What happened to the wave?
I don't know. Those diving fans must have left us here.
They did. So a good showing there for the Cougars in the JV 500 free. So now move on to the varsity event. And this time we will have the Bengals participating. For Centennial, it's Erica Whiting in lane 1, Sarah Groh lane 3, and Maggie Vansel lane 5. Jenna Dayton for the Bengals in lane 2, Erin Sullivan in 4, and Taylor Conger in lane 6 for Blaine.
These are some new 500 swimmers for us. We don't usually have these girls in this event. Let's see how they do.
Well, they are 2 8th graders and a 9th grader, so see how they can perform against 2 Blaine seniors and a junior.
Wow. Looks like Sarah Groh's out to an early lead, but there's a lot of time in this event for the others to catch up.
And this right here could be exactly the example that we were talking about. Just how good are Centennial's younger girls? How deep really is this team? Can they beat the varsity squad of Blaine in a endurance type of event like the 500 free? This is, I think, a great show of really the talent of both of these teams that we're going to see right now.
Yeah, and you're right. The depth of this team with these, some of the Centennial 8th and 9th graders, we're going to be strong for many years to come. Looks like Blaine, Erin Sullivan is in second place behind Sarah Groh.
Yeah, Groh leads through 100 yards.
This will be a little bit quicker race than the JV. We're expecting them to come in somewhere in the 5-minute range.
There's a good look at Groh in lane 3 where she still leads.
She's got that long body. Reaches out and touches that wall. It's fun to watch her swim.
She is very tall for an 8th grader. And yeah, I think as you mentioned, Susie, Erin Sullivan still remains in second. And it looks like Maggie Vansel's in third through 7 of the 20 laps here in the 500 free.
It'll be interesting to see if Sarah gives herself a little bit more room as the race progresses.
She seems in that last leg to have taken just a little bit further of a lead, if you will.
Yeah, she's at least 2 body lengths ahead at this point. Same thing can be said about second and third place. They seem to have divided a little bit further.
So this here for Sarah Groh would mark the halfway point of the race. And through 250 yards of the 500 free, a time of 2:44. So she is very close to that 5-minute mark that we were talking about.
They'll slow down a little bit in the second half here as the muscles get tired.
Do they usually swim that last 25 or 50 as hard as they can, though?
Yes, usually they do. Some of the girls even come out of the pool and they're not tired, and the coach says, you should be tired, because they hold off their energy thinking that they need to save it, but yes, they do. They
Nothing
usually
to
swim
save it for if you don't finish.
Exactly.
Well, as it looks now, Groh still well ahead of her closest competition.
I don't know if you can see this or not, but the girls holding the numbers down at the end, the counters, have kind of different methods of telling the girls how fast to swim, whether they should speed up, stay the same. You know, the girl in Can't see that. As they come up, you can kind of see if they're shaking it up and down, they're saying speed it up.
Yeah, watch as they hit the wall here. It'll be in the left portion of your screen. Look in the middle of your screen in the left as Sarah Grow touches. Here's a great look at it.
Yep, she's swinging it back and forth, and that's basically saying you're doing great, keep up this pace. No need to exert any more energy.
Excellent awareness there by our camera crew to show it to you. 5 laps, about 4 laps to go now for Sarah Grow. And I think you're absolutely right, Susie, slowing down just a bit now. She was halfway through on pace for 5 minutes.
And again, you can see that lead increasing both between first and second and third.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, it looks like the Blaine swimmer in lane 6 is in 4th place.
And in lane 2, Jenna Dayton is a few laps behind. There's the bell in lane 3 for Sarah Grow, marking her final 50.
You can see she is coming on stronger. She just lapped lane 2.
Yeah, she is definitely a lap up. And here she comes in her final 25.
And she's sprinting.
She will sprint to the finish. Sarah Grow at a time of 5:33. See the official time here. 5:33.45
Great
to take
time.
first.
Great time for her. Second place comes in from Blaine.
Erin Sullivan at 5:43.44. And the Cougars will grab third as well, Maggie Vansel. So the Cougars get first and third with their 8th and 9th graders, and they defeat a couple of the more veteran swimmers for the Bengals, and got to be pretty happy again about that performance, Susie.
Absolutely, they all swam great. It looks like Erica Whiting is coming in to finish out the heat in lane 1. Another one of our younger 8th grade swimmers. Up next is our 200-yard freestyle relay for the JV. I'm going to hand it over to Gina.
Welcome back, Gina Chapman joining us for this next event. We saw the endurance event. Things are going to speed up a bit now with the 200 free. This is the JV relay.
They're going to speed up a whole lot. We go from our slowest paced to our rapid fire.
Ferreira, Sauter, Lindblad, and Young, the relay team in lane 1 for Centennial. Anderson, Ossidic, Bradshaw, and Cummings, the Blaine relay team in lane 2. Hunt, Foot, Valeris, and Gwyn, in lane 3, the relay team for Centennial. Lundberg, Anderson, Henger, and Lee. You saw the rest there on your screen. In lane 4. Lane 5, it's Lundgren, Whiting, Trailer, and Carlson for Centennial. In lane 6, it's Clemens, Shan, Westlow, and Francis for the Bengals in lane 6.
And with the early lead in lane 3, Liz Hunt for Centennial. And closing in, Rachel Lundgren in lane 5. And their exchanges.
So the second portion is the freestyle portion we're seeing.
And Emily Foote, sophomore, in lane 3, extending the lead for her relay team. And Erica Whiting, 8th grader for Centennial, in lane 5. In second right now. There was Emily going into the wall, and leaving was Megan Valerius. We did just see Megan in that 500 JV heat, so...
she had a couple minutes to breathe, but that's about it.
Right. She had about a 6-7 minute rest, and she's back at it. And there she is, lane 3.
Well, she's not lacking any
heading in
endurance
first.
here.
Sometimes it's a warm-up for these girls, and they swim faster after that 500.
So now the final swimmers are in the pool, and the Cougars in lane 3 hold on to the lead with Susie Gwynn,
who was also in that JV 500. Susie taking it home. Her relay gave her a commanding lead. In second place, the bottom of the screen, freshman Jade Carlson for Centennial.
Centennial will finish in first here. In second as well, in lane 5, is the team Carlson finishing it off for the Cougars there. And third place is in lane 4. The Bengals will take that with the team of Lundberg, Meager, Anderson, and Claire Lee. So yet again, Centennial taking first and second. Another impressive performance in the 200 free for the JV girls. Showing you again, Gina, what Susan and I were talking about a minute ago, the fact that this Cougar team is so deep. A lot of those young girls stepping up, and they did it again there.
Absolutely.
Here's a look at the varsity relay and the 200 free coming up. In lane 1, Stenslin, I'm sorry, will start off for the Cougars. Stiegler for Blaine, Chapman for Centennial in lane 3, Air in lane 4 for the Bengals, Erickson in lane 5 for Centennial, Stenzel in lane 6 for the Bengals.
Actually, in lane 1, that is Shelby Carlson, who has switched places and is the lead swimmer. And Kayla Chapman off in the early lead with lane 3 for the Cougars. Swimming in her final home meet as a senior here tonight. Tia Erickson pushing in lane 5. In fact, looks like they'll be nearly even as the second swimmers go off. For Centennial in lane 2, Mira Schroeder. We saw her earlier swimming the 100 free. And in lane 5 for the Cougars, Julianne Seppala.
Schroeder well in the lead in lane 3, and
beautiful swimming as she extends the lead, and she hands off to Alyssa Udine. This Cougar team in lane 3, this is the relay that Coach Chip has been swimming this year as the A200 free relay. They took first in the meet against Maple Grove last week in that conference championship swimming with these girls. They swam a different order then, but the same swimmers. And Alyssa hands off to Tara Chapman entering the water in the 4th leg for the Cougars.
And Chapman.
And they've got about a half a length lead there on Sarah Groh, 8th grader for the Cougars in lane 5 as she drives home her relay team. And there's the touch for the first place Cougars.
Excellent finish for Chapman and the Cougars. They'll take second as well in lane 5. That first
and
place.
Third is, looks like, I think that was Solveig Stentz. No, that was Carly Rademacher, as listed in the top of the screen, taking third with her team. And there's Tara.
The Cougars again with a sweep. And that time.
1:44.09.
Yeah, that's just, well, it's 3 seconds off the school record pace, but that's pretty
funny you would
impressive
mention
still.
that, Matt, because these girls set a new pool record, so that's actually out of date. They set a pool record 2 weeks ago at our two-team sections meet against Stillwater, White Bear, and North St. Paul, taking first with a new pool record.
One of the best teams that Centennial has seen in a long time, and you're seeing them here tonight. Several school and pool records set here by this current squad. Udine and Chapman, I can see on the board, have set a few records, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, the 200 medley relay has a school record as well as a new pool record set here again a couple of weeks ago at that true team sections meet with the Udine sisters and the Chapman sisters swimming that medley relay.
Excellent. Cougars are hoping to go far this year. They wrap up their regular season tonight with this meet against the Bengals, and then they'll look forward to section play. And Susie and I were talking earlier, Gina, Centennial hoping to get perhaps 6 events to state this year. It would be a huge accomplishment.
Absolutely. We're looking at the last 2 or 3 years we've sent 2 relays. This year we're looking at the possibility of sending all 3 relays to state and showing well at state. Also, Tara Chapman has already swam the state cuts in the 200 IM and in the 100 breaststroke earlier this season. Although all of the cuts have to be swam at section finals to qualify for state in swimming.
And we are wrapping up the
JV 100 back. There we
next
go.
event, which is quickly already done. In first place in lane 3 is Carly Rademacher.
With the 100 back and at the time of a 1:12.
Very good time. And
As she encourages her teammate Alexa Anderson, who is swimming the varsity heat.
there you go. Liz Hunt will get second for the Cougars, and third place in lane 1 is Nora Beckemeyer. So the Cougars again sweeping in the JV. And now, yes, as you mentioned, the 100 varsity backstroke now.
Cougars will be showing in lane 1, Shelby Carlson, lane 3, Alexa Anderson, lane 5, Solveig Stensland. And the Bengals in lane 2 was Sydney Valaquit, Riley Slotsby, and Aaliyah Mori in lane 6. As the swimmers await the signal from the ref that they can enter the pool.
The referee talking to Centennial Cougar head coach Chip Fector right now. Got to be happy with how this season has gone for he and assistant coach Pete Crawford and diving coach Beth Over. (78-32), the Cougars lead the meet so far in dominating fashion. So we're set now. Gina for the 100 back. They're just having fun out there tonight, aren't they?
They're having fun. It's an emotional night, too, for the Cougars as we honor our seniors tonight. There's a ceremony after the meet, so there's a lot of energy for them in the building tonight. And Alexa Anderson comes up first in the middle of the pool, but it looks like Blaine is quickly catching, and they're even on the turn. And we've got a race.
Yeah, very close one shaping up through the first 50.
And Riley Slotsby touches just ahead of Alexa Anderson at the midpoint of the race. They're watching each other there as they go into the third and final turn. Riley still in the lead.
And this is the last lap,
And she is not letting up. Very smooth, steady stroke as she hits the wall. And Alexa Anderson second. We've got Solveig Stensland touching third for the Cougars.
well, for the Blaine Bengals, you have to be happy with the first place performance there by Slotsby. She's a junior for the Bengals and one of a couple of their first place finishes tonight.
A nice time for her, too. She finished in a 1:04.82.
So next
and there
up
she is.
is the 100-yard breaststroke for the JV girls. And we'll bring back in Susie Erickson now. We look at the lane assignments in the 100 breaststroke JV. Lane 1 is Lundgren for Centennial.
I think Delaney Warren in lane 1.
Okay.
Jenna Simons from Blaine in lane 2, Sarah Lehman from Centennial in lane 3, Julia Robertstad from Blaine in lane 4, Ellie Keene in lane 5 for Centennial, and Allie Leppy in lane 6. This is another event that Centennial is very deep in, is the breaststroke. So some of these girls typically swim JV breaststroke are given the opportunity. Oh, I'm sorry, are we looking at... I just gave the varsity
That's okay.
lineup.
Not a problem at all. The JV lineup in lane 1 is Lundgren. Lane 2 is Lindsay Anderson for Blaine. Amanda Patchell in lane 3 for Centennial. Megan Birkenstock in lane 4 for the Bengals. Courtney Weddle in lane 5 for Centennial. And Nicole Maurer in lane 6 for Blaine. That varsity lineup we will look forward to in just another minute.
It's a good race here between... Looks like lane 2 and 3 are neck and neck.
Now Lindsay Anderson for the Bengals, just a 7th grader. And Amanda Paschal, the 9th grader for Centennial. And they are still neck and neck here as we go into the final 10 yards, if you will.
This is a great race. It looks like Amanda is coming on and will probably out-touch. She did.
Beating Lindsay Anderson. The Cougars are also going to get 3rd. I believe it was Weddle. And it is. Courtney Weddle is going to get 2nd place there.
There must be something wrong with the timing. Look,
yeah, that doesn't make...
Yeah, unless we missed that. It sure looked like 2 and 3, but, you know.
Let's take a look
here.
Yeah,
this is...
First place is going to be right there. 1, 2, that's lane 3, that's lane 5.
She did out-touch her at the very end.
2nd, just barely. Wow, that was too close to call even.
By 11 hundredths of a second there. That was pretty close.
Great view of it from our camera under the water. We get set for the varsity 100-yard breaststroke now. In lane 1 is Delaney Warren, as you mentioned earlier. Jenna Simons for the Bengals in lane 2. Sarah Lehman in lane 3 for Centennial. Julia Robertson in lane 4 for Blaine. Ellie Keene in lane 5 for the Cougars. And Eiley Leppy in lane 6 for the Bengals, an 8th grader again. They all got a very even start.
Looks like Sarah Lehman is going out to a little bit of a lead here. She's a young, very talented swimmer on our team this year.
Yeah, just an 8th grader and looking very strong here. Trying to catch her is Julia Robertstadt for the Bengals in lane 5, or 4 rather.
Another young one, a freshman.
They'll go into the last 50.
We'll see if Ellie Keene can catch Julia. Lane 5 looks like she's trying to make up some ground here off that turn.
She is making up some ground. It's going to be a close fight to the finish for 2nd. Ellie Keene still needs a little bit extra push off the wall here. Let's see if she gets it.
Off her pole.
Well, Lehman looks to have a lock on first. I think Robertstadt will be able to hold on for the Bengals in lane 4.
You are correct. Sarah Lehman first. Julie Robertstead 2nd, and Ellie Keene in 3rd.
A great time, too, 1:14.81.
Now we're up to our final JV event, which is the 400-yard freestyle relay. JV.
All right, so we'll have the JV and the varsity, and we'll welcome back Gina Chapman for yet another one of these endurance events and this 400 freestyle relay.
The ref is talking to the winner, Sarah Lehman, there. I wonder if there was some irregularity. Typically, the ref doesn't have any need to talk to the athletes after a race.
Trying to see if I could listen.
Sarah Lehman had a very big meet against the Maple Grove Crimson last Thursday night as we took the conference title at Centennial, stealing a second place in a touch from Maple Grove in the 100 breaststroke, and also anchoring the Cougars B 400 free relay to a third place finish.
This first group in the relay team in lane 1 for Centennial will be Mandy Grandquist. In lane 2, Jessica Sherlock for the Bengals. Rachel Steinberg for Centennial, lane 3. Ashlyn Sullivan, lane 4 for the Bengals. And Courtney Weddle, lane 5 for Centennial to start off the 400 free relay. So now a question for you, Gina. On the 400 free, do they do the same as the 500 and show them where they're at with the numbers in the water?
No, because it's a relay. Each swimmer is just doing 100.
Their parts. They know that they know their part. It's a little easier to keep track of their 4 laps each.
Exactly. Although I have seen it happen where one of the swimmers wasn't paying attention and dove in the water when her teammate had only swam a 50.
Ah, yeah.
That's kind of a dangerous situation with diving over someone. So the swimmers still have to pay attention.
Yeah. Our director, Kenton Kipp, says it happens to him all the time. And we have some breaking news on Sarah Lehman's last event, the 100 breaststroke, that Lehman, it looked like she had first, but we are now told that she's disqualified. So Sarah Lehman in the 100 back, she had first. She was first place, and she's disqualified.
She was first, right. That, if this was a close meet, that would be a huge disqualification, and could be really devastating for the Cougars. We've got room in this meet that it's not going to change the outcome, but nonetheless, always tough when one of the swimmers is disqualified.
What could contribute to that?
Well, it doesn't happen often in the breaststroke, but there are some things, particularly when they're swimming underwater in the breaststroke. They're only allowed 1 pull and 1 kick underwater, and then their head has to break the surface before their hands come apart for the next pull. That's one example of, a real, on a technical level of things that a ref might look for in the breaststroke. Another thing on the breaststroke, on your turn and your touch, both hands have to touch simultaneously. If one's in front of the other, disqualified.
Very technical.
Right.
Tough to get that right every time, I would imagine.
Even the best of them, sometimes there's a slip. So I've never seen Sarah disqualified before. She swam that race many, many times.
The third set of divers now coming into the water. That is Angela Maydew. Is that how you pronounce it in lane 1?
I believe it's Madu.
Madu in lane 1 for Centennial. Julie Murphy for the Bengals in lane 3. Kayla Kosak for Centennial in lane 3. Emily Link in lane 4 for the Bengals. In lane 5, Amanda Paschal for Centennial. And the Cougars have got another commanding lead here in lane 3. Kozak, the 7th grader for the Cougars.
Looking very strong out there.
Yes,
indeed. I think she's got a bright future here on the Cougars swim and dive team.
So many of them do.
There she goes into her turn. Really nice, strong, even stroke. Really grabs a lot of water. And she is way out ahead as she comes into the wall on the exchange, and that is senior Bethel Fallon taking a splash. Her final splash in this pool as a Cougar as she is wrapping up her senior year after many great years on the team.
An emotional night indeed that we'll see with the ceremony after the meet.
Indeed, I mentioned that there's sets of sisters on this team. That's kind of been traditional. There's usually, there's various sets of sisters come through. But the whole team really considers themselves a family.
And the parents as well. You guys all, I'm sure, enjoy spending time together.
We do. We especially enjoy it when we win, but
well, you'll enjoy it tonight. 106-60 the score right now. The Cougars in dominating fashion. And not necessarily putting their best effort forward to try and save up some juice for the for sections.
Let's say each swimmer should be putting forth their best effort, but it's not our strongest top lineup, let's say, as far as the event placement. And there's Beth, looking pretty happy as she rounds out a great career here.
She gets a great round of applause too from her teammates, and looks like the Cougars will finish second as well. Sarah Spalding, the 7th grader, will touch the wall to bring home second place. And they're going to sweep again in lane 1. Callie Ricard is going to take third. The 400 free in JV, the girls from Centennial sweeping again.
The wall.
They'll get 4th, and then in 5th place, touching for Blaine now, is Nicole Maurer, or 6th place rather in lane.
All right, and Beth
4.
demonstrating good sportsmanship as she cheers in her teammates and shakes hands of the Blaine swimmers.
And then that takes us to our final event of the evening. It'll be the 400 varsity freestyle relay now.
The first swimmers up for the Cougars in lane 1, Maggie Bansell, lane 3, Annie Medine, and lane 5, Sarah Lehman, our breaststroker.
The Bengals have Miranda Siegler in lane 2, Taylor Conger lane 4, and Michaela Strand, the 8th grader, in lane 6.
And they're off in our final race.
Each swimmer will do 4 laps.
And Annie Udine out in the lead. Not surprising, having won the 2 freestyle sprint events tonight.
And she is putting forth every ounce of effort, you can certainly tell.
Absolutely. Anna's a real pro with this. And Blaine challenges in lane 4 with Taylor Conger, senior swimmer.
If you're the Bengals right now, you just want to try to salvage another first placement in an event if they can keep up.
And there's Kayla Chapman going off the block for the Cougars in lane 3, and Riley Slotsby next to her. Riley was our winner of the 100 backstroke. And there's Kayla on the return, and she will hand off to Alyssa Udine. And in 3rd place, we've got, looks like Maggie Vansell. Molly Vansell, rather, in the pool in lane 5. And there's Kayla going into the wall, and Alyssa Udine jumping in after her. Kayla and Alyssa having swam together in club swimming and high school swimming for many years now, having swam many, many relays together as they finish out their senior year here at Centennial.
The Cougars looking dominating again.
There's Alyssa on her turn. She goes out for the second 50. And this is the third leg of the 4x100 freestyle relay. It looks like we've got a race developing for second and third. Now there is Alyssa Udine heading back to the wall, and her teammate Mira Schroeder will be the anchor leg for the Cougars A relay. And here we see that exchange. And there's Mira.
Yep, the final
And there's
leg.
our race for second and third as they head into the wall. And Mira Schroeder she flips. 50 left, and there we've got the Cougars. Actually a dead heat now for second and third, with Tara Chapman for the Cougars in lane 5 and Erin Sullivan. I think we saw her win an event earlier for the Bengals in lane 4.
And that's going to be it.
And there's the Cougars taking first.
Yes, in lane 3, Schroeder finishes it off.
And Erin Sullivan hangs on for the Bengals in second. And looks like the coach has changed it up on us. And that was not Tara Chapman for the Cougars' second place team. It was Alexa Anderson.
Nonetheless, the Cougars take third, and Blaine will finish off now in 6th place in lane 2 with Jenna Simon. So the final time there, the first place time of 3:48.29.
There's the Cougars finish.
So that wraps up the final event. The final scoring will be posted momentarily. But as it stands now, the Cougars winning big, 106-60 to score now. And we will want you to stick with us for a couple of post-game interviews. But ladies, what can you say? Gina Chapman and Susie Erickson, and again, thanks to the both of you for joining us. But an impressive performance for the Cougars tonight on senior night. What does this mean to the girls?
Oh, this meet is so important for the girls. We're so grateful to have this extra meet after our conference championship, so they can just go out, have fun, and celebrate their year, because those crossover meets that they were swimming in last year is all about the competition and taking your place. In this, they can really celebrate their season.
Perfect. And Susie Erickson has to run, so thank you, Susie, for being here. We appreciate our Centennial parents for being a part of the broadcast tonight here on North Metro TV. We will have a post-game wrap for you shortly. The Cougars winning the meet here at home on senior night. 106-60 the score as it stands now. We'll have the final for you after this quick break on senior night from Centennial.
Known for its vineyards and hilltop villages, Umbria is also known for its delicious tasting pizza. Made traditionally from the finest ingredients, Umbria Pizzeria will make you taste the difference, smell the love, and transport you to Italy.
La cena è pronta.
Dinner's ready.
You might even begin to feel like an Italian.
Delicioso.
Umbria Pizzeria, turning taste into memories.
If you need seamless gutters, whether the job is large or small, you can say,
I know a guy!
For your full-service landscaping, you can say,
I know a guy!
If you need commercial or residential lawn care, you can say,
I know a guy! I'm Charlie Walker, and if you need professional seamless gutters, landscaping, and lawn care, you can say, I know a guy!
In the nation, our agents are always there, helping make sure that when your life changes, your nationwide insurance coverage changes too. We put members first because we don't have shareholders. Join the nation where protection is personal.
Nationwide is on your side.
In Anoka County, contact Twin Cities Insurance Group, your nationwide insurance agent.
With gold at all-time high, take that rope and say bye-bye. Earrings, bracelets, rings, and chains. We buy gold at your exchange. Don't send your gold to someone strange. We buy gold at your exchange. Spring Lake Park, Fridley, Blaine. We buy gold at your exchange.
Check it out. Oh, that is magnificent.
Here comes the big one, Elizabeth.
I love it so much. I'm feeling a little guilty on account of me being married. There are 8 wonders in the world.
I can't believe it.
Pinch me. I think I'm dreaming.
Okay.
No, it's real.
Ooh, yes.
My name.
Down here on the deck with a couple of the stars of tonight's meet for the Centennial Cougars coming out victorious against the Blaine Bengals. 106-72 was the final score. I'm with Alyssa Udine and Anna Udine, girls' sisters. A lot of fun tonight in this last meet of the season as you prepare for sections. Alyssa, I'm going to talk to you first about the fact that it's senior night. You won 2 events. It's the last time you're going to be in this pool. What did that mean to you?
It's a lot of fun and very emotional. I mean, won't be back here for a while, so until the next alumni meet, I'm really looking forward to that and seeing all the girls again.
You guys are getting ready for your senior night festivities here momentarily. You won the 100 fly and the 200 free tonight. What did you see there in the pool on those 2 events that allowed you to be able to win?
I just saw everyone cheering for me, and that made me get excited and go fast.
Congratulations on a great career here at Centennial. Your sister, Anna Udine, winning 2 events tonight as well, the 500 free and the 100 free. Talk about the youth of your team. You guys are very deep. You can go very deep, and some of your JV swimmers even posting better times than some of the varsity swimmers for Blaine.
Well, our JV and our younger swimmers are very strong, so they've helped us with a lot of our wins. And the team is just like a family to us. It's really fun.
All right, and this night's a big one too. You guys are preparing for sections. What are your emotions like as you prepare for sections and hopefully state eventually?
I'm really nervous, but I'm also super excited because that's always one of my most fun meets.
All right, congratulations to both of you ladies.
Thank you.
I love the Batman towel, by the way.
Thanks.
Anna Udine and Alyssa Udine, a couple of the stars for the Cougars tonight in this victory over the Blaine Bengals. All right, right over here, I'm going to bring in one of the Blaine divers who also had a very successful night tonight. Nicole Whedon, step right up if you will. Congratulations on taking first place for the Bengals in the diving tonight. You had some very good dives. One judge even posting an 8.0 score for you, one of the highest scores that even some of the folks here have seen all season long. Take us through that dive.
Well, my inward dive pike, I just try to keep my chin and chest up on the top and then touch my toes and stretch the bottom.
Excellent. From all the different dives that you've done this year, was that one of the more difficult ones?
No, actually that's my easiest and my favorite dive probably.
All right, very good. And just talk about, being here on the road, you guys maybe lost the meet, but you had a very good night yourself. I hope that you can take home some sort of pride in that, right?
Yes, I will.
All right. Congratulations. Thank you so much on a great effort tonight. The first place diver for the Blaine Bengals. Hey, it's been a great night here at North Metro TV from Centennial High School. The Cougars defeating the Bengals 106-72 in this meet. For Gina Chapman, for Susie Erickson, for our director, Kent Giff, I'm Matt Johnson. Have a great night, everybody.